Great Monday morning. I hope you're having a beautiful start to the last one of this month. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Are you someone who goes off on people? You just lose it. Or maybe you tell your whole mind, or you let people have it, and then you send off that email or that text or what have you. And then later on you regret, like, oh, dang. I was somewhere this weekend on the weekend field trip with the families, the students, and I was noticing how there was some breakdown, not from the kids, but the adults. If we would go into maybe one of the places that we visited, and there's an argument that break out with one of the adults and the ushers. And, you know, the usher was pretty much doing their job, but the parent or the adult was saying, well, it's just the way how she, came to me. And, before you know it, in this place, you hear words. And I'm like, where you have to give your full mind. And I said, more than ever, there's a need for teaching of composure. In Esther, the second chapter, talks about how Mordecai, he was the uncle of Esther, and he told Esther not to tell anyone who she was, right? They noticed that she was beautiful. She was the selected one, well-favored, right? She was the chosen one. But Mordecai charged her in verse 10 to not tell anyone who she was, and he supervised her. He kept close eye on her. He was a great uncle, a parent. Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. That's verse 11. Are we supervising our children? But more importantly, are we keeping check of our emotions and our conduct so that we know that we are training them by the attitude we show them? We wonder why they're so angry and snapping off. Well, are we doing it ourselves? Like I said, are we saying green lies, purple lies, pink lies, black lies, white lies? And it says in verse 20, again, Mordecai charged her to not show anyone who she was. That's in verse 20 again. And there was a situation that came up where there were two ushers, ironically, at the door. They were guards in the palace, and they were salty with the king. And they're like, he just do too much. Man, I can't stand him. They were very wroth. Don't you hate when you go into a business and you hear the workers arguing and they don't really stop when the customer is there? I'm like, this is so unprofessional. Who is teaching these people? Who is training? Well, in verse 21, these two workers, Bigthan and Teresh, kept on going on, and they were overheard. And guess what happened to them? Because they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't hold their tongue. They were both hung. Yes, verse 23 says, because they didn't manage their emotions. What are we doing, you all? What are we teaching? In Psalms 25, unto the Lord do I lift my soul. Oh my God, I trust in thee. Amen. Verse 4, show me thy ways, O Lord, and thy paths. The Lord will teach his people the way how to handle frustration in ways when people, just get on our nerves. In verse 9, it says, the meek will he teach his way. Meek is not weakness. Meekness is strength under control. Amen. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show his covenant. He will show us how to deal with things out here, but we have to have a cool head. And unto the Lord, we lift our soul up to him, not across the other people. He's doing me this way and that way. He has me working this weekend. Because that's when we get in trouble. In Psalms 145, I will, in the midst of everything, I will extol thee, my God, O King. I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless you and praise your name. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. This is how we're handing off training. One generation, verse 4, shall praise thy works to another and shall declare thy mighty acts. Is it one generation is complaining and going off on people and showing the next generation how to fight and to snap off and to grab people in the drive-thru at McDonald's and fight and all that? No. We want to show the next generation how to act, how to praise, how to extol, how to deal with conflict, how to manage our emotions. Have a wonderful Monday in the Lord, keeping your praise vertical and your honor horizontally so that everybody will glorify the Lord. I have to cough. Have a wonderful day in the Lord. Enjoy.